Hi everybody, it's Az here from Hill vs Babyface, and happy patch day to everybody out there. What did the patch day Santa bring for you today? For me, he brought 5.0.4.2.8.9.245. Not really. Yeah, the new patch is out on live, where people can start to experience what we've been experiencing on the beta as regards to new talent systems, you know, the new mount tab. Somebody recently asked me if I could show off the new mount and pet tab, and I was going to do a video on it. And then, of course, when they announced when patch day was going to be, it was so close. I thought, well, there's no real point because you'll be doing it yourself. You've been fiddling with yourself in a week's or so time. So, yeah, feel free to fill your boots with that. There's a tab. It's got a horsey's head on it. Click it on. All your mounts are in there. They are now account wide. And all your pets are in there as well, which are also account-wide. So lots of fun stuff for people today on live. So I hope that distracts you from today's video. Because I have had massive trouble making this. I have already done tomorrow's video and the recording saved ready for upload. It's over 16 minutes long tomorrow, by the way. And I normally do not do that because, you know, when I do my videos, none of it's scripted. I don't know what I'm going to say. And I don't like to go ahead in case I say something in a previous video, which I then want to either discuss further or refer to from the last video. But this time I had to, because I had almost like, you know, a voiceover block with this, because today's video is just full of kill and collect, and it's, you know, it's just not good enough, please. And the reason why I've had to redo the voiceover for this time and time again is because it just deteriorates in me having an almighty rant. And, you know, I mean, recently I managed to get through a whole video without saying anything negative about the questing experience, because I thought that the Shadow Pan questing chain, whether it even be a kill and collect quest to rocket launching manted out the sky, it flowed brilliantly. There was such a great sequential flow to it. You did something interesting and then it just brought you down to doing something generic to make the next time you did something interesting all the more fun. But it only did something generic very briefly. So you'd do something fun, kill and collect, then straight into something fun, kill and collect, something fun, kill and collect. It kind of operated like that. So you always felt as if it flowed well, and you always enjoyed when it upped that level and it did that thing that was just slightly different. The Klaxi are offering none of that whatsoever. It's just all boring, kill and collect. And what sort of really is getting my goat here, more than anything, is I'm now level 89, you know? I am on my final stretch to get to level 90. This is it. This is the balls out, bells and whistles finale, getting me to max level. And I'm just doing kill and collect, kill and collect, kill and collect. And it's simply not good enough. So I'm going to stop right there as regards to whinging about this. You can watch the video and see what happens. And I've decided now to address a completely different issue altogether for this vid, because over the course of the last couple of months, last few months actually, when I was doing the heroic dungeons and I was saying about how, you know, how they're so damn easy now, and they are, and Blizzard have said they're easy, they want them to be easy, and I've got a massive problem with that, and some people, and it does sound very ignorant when you say this, especially if you're not in the beta, have just gone, yeah, but you've got challenge mode, so you're just whinging, and that's not anywhere near correct. I'm sorry, because there are so many differences between a challenge mode dungeon and a tough heroic dungeon. And also, I just need to address a myth, because every time we talk about tough heroic dungeons, the majority of people seem to be saying, yeah, but at the start of Cataclysm, they were just too tough. At the start of Cataclysm, at the start of Cataclysm. I'm sorry, but Cataclysm did not invent the tough heroic dungeon. Do any of you guys remember the Burning Crusade? You know, that expansion, which has been revered as the best expansion Blizzard have ever done. and an expansion that just saw an increase in subscriptions all the way through, that continued into Wrath of the Lich King. And I don't buy Blizzard's story that Wrath of the Lich King was responsible for that increase maintaining itself. I think Wrath of the Lich King was riding off the hard work of the Burning Crusade, because then it started to dip towards the end, and, you know, quite possibly because you made us do Icecrown Citadel for a year, and then gave us a stupid boss at the end of the expansion. Just, you know, that felt as if you were just trying to fill time. As opposed to what you did in the Burning Crusade when you stuck up the Sunwell, which was just magnificent. And the Isle of Kel'Thuzad? Yeah? Okay, we'll say that. So there are some big point differences between a challenge mode dungeon and a tough heroic. And the key features are, first of all, the challenge mode dungeon is up against the clock. You're up against the clock and you're trying to get yourself a gold, silver or bronze reward. Or medal, I should say. So if you complete the dungeon within 15 minutes, you get a gold. If you do it from 15 to 30 minutes, you get a silver. If it's 30 to 45 minutes, you get a bronze. It's sort of like that. The times might be a little bit out, but it's roughly like that. So first of all, you're against the clock. So if you want to argue, yes, but you don't necessarily have to go against the clock. You can just go in with your friends and take it at your own leisure. Well, again, it's not quite right, because you're also item level capped when you go into a challenge mode as well. You can't get beyond the item level cap, and the item level cap, I believe, is 463. It might be slightly different, but roughly 463. So it doesn't matter if you go into that dungeon with 484 gear, you know, or higher, or 473 gear that I think you get from Raid Finder. Your gear will be nerfed down to a level of the 463. That's the required amount for the challenge mode. So you can never physically progress your character either with gear. And that is a big point, because with heroic dungeons, it was great to see your progression and feel your progression when you got those items from the bosses. And I remember doing Shattered Halls and Black Morass, and oh my god, they were so tough, and it was great. I mean, it was great stuff. Absolutely fantastic. So when you killed the boss, and an item dropped that you could use, and you snapped it up, and you felt as if, right, my character's now that little bit stronger, that's going to make this dungeon now a little bit easier, and you saw that physical progression with your own character as you got tougher and tougher, and that heroic, that nasty heroic just started to get that little bit easier. And there was that great sense of satisfaction with that, because you know that you were responsible for that. It was my progression through this dungeon. And a challenge mode, you don't get the item, you don't get the gear in a challenge mode dungeon to do that. It's not going to drop good gear. It's not going to say, this is now a tougher dungeon, you're going to get some really good drops off it. They're not doing that at all. You're either getting low level gear, or they're actually not dropping gear from it, because that's not what the challenge mode dungeon is intended for. So there are completely different facets. I don't understand why Blizzard, well, one of my friends explained it, and I'll explain it in a minute, why Blizzard just couldn't have a regular level 90 dungeon that's their heroic difficulty as we speak. They then have a heroic level dungeon, which is more in line with the difficulty level of, let's say, a challenge mode, but you're not item level capped and you're not up against the clock. And then you can have the challenge mode dungeon as well, which rewards people for both being item level capped and ploughing through it as quickly as they possibly can, so that they can get the transmog gear reward. I can't see why they can't do that. They've done it pretty darn well up till now. But one of my friends said to me, they said, yeah, you know the reason why they're not doing that? Because you'll get the Cry Brigade, the QQ Brigade, that are good enough to do the regular level 90s and get, let's say, 463 gear. But they're not good enough to do the heroic dungeons, or they find the heroic dungeons too tough, and therefore don't have the patience to complete them, quit out, and therefore don't get I don't know what, I got a therefore bug. they got 473 level gear. You know, just that little bit higher. And, you know, I say to that, well, stuff them. Blizzard keeps saying, oh, we want people to see the content. We want everyone to see the content. Well, that's great. They can see the content nice and easy. But if people want to do the content tougher, then reward them with better gear for doing it on a higher difficulty level. That person who wants the easy mode has seen what they've needed to see. Nespa? If that's, you know, if that's off kilter, do tell me. Now, we're going to go back to what's actually happening in the video now. And if you've been paying attention, you would have seen all I have been doing is kill and collect, apart from one mini escort quest. And then it's referred back to kill and collect. And if you look at the time now, it's 10 to 6 on the server. And when I picked up these quests, it was 5:45. And I've got to kill 10 lizard men and its boss. And I've killed the boss, he's respawned now. And I've got to go around and kill turtles until I get 6 turtle fillets. Succulent turtle fillets. So that's a collection quest, and then I'm going to feed it to that creature which we've got with us, because that's that Paragon's secret weapon. Now, I scooched the video on because when I find the final succulent turtle fillet, it's 6:15. It's half an hour after I picked up the quest. Half an hour of RNG bollocks, Blizzard, to find 6 stupid turtle fillets. And this is the problem with quests with Blizzard. They're just so inconsistent, and, you know, it infuriates me. That is half an hour of my life I will never get back. That could have been done in 5 or 10 minutes tops, Blizz. You've dragged it out due to the horrific jot rate of these stupid turtle fillets, which don't really serve any purpose for my character. Doesn't progress me as a player or anything like that. Just wastes time. So the, you know, RNG quests can just go off. You know, stick anything you want in front of that off. But dear oh dear, yeah. So video wise, poor questing experience. But I still hope you've enjoyed the ramblings of me. So please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back tomorrow. Take care everybody. Bye bye.